happy Monday to everybody. Welcome to the best podcast on Monday nights. It's Plug Talk Sports. It's a live show, episode 106. It's two-man crew tonight. Myself, Daniel Torres, alongside Brandon Hernandez. Can't complain with a two-man crew, man.
Can't, man. Best two.
It can't, man. How was your weekend, man?
A little hectic. I don't know why. I'm moving back and forth. I'm now up in North Central Florida. A very, let me see if I can get a whole room. Not really made, but bed area there. Of course, a little reading, as I always do. Good read for those who want to.
What are you reading right now? Yeah, what are you reading right now?
But not big room. But yeah, pretty hectic on the move, but glad I'm finally got a bed place.
What book are you reading right now?
Yeah. So it's basically the longest title you ever heard of how to watch Basketball Like a Genius, with game designers, economists, ballet choreographers, theoretical astrophysics reveal about the greatest game on earth by Nick Green. I probably butchered some of the words there. I'm not the biggest scientific guy, but it is. I read, but I read in silence. So.
Hey, I'm a big reading guy myself, so I'm gonna have to. What do you think so far? Good book?
No, it's a good book. I mean, again, if you're interested in the game of basketball like I am, for both of us, we broadcast basketball games in our past. We still do it. So it's definitely a good read for those who want to understand the game another way, and also if you're just basketball nut like myself, it's a good read.
I would say basketball, like on Plug Talk Sports, the guy to go to for basketball is yourself. And also, if you guys didn't know, Brandon's got a podcast. It's a great podcast. Only, when he talked about the Celtics, I don't know how I feel about that, but it's a great podcast. And if you want to just, hear the latest news about just the game and what's going on and get Brandon's opinions and his analysis, it's great. You guys need to check it out. Where do you post it?
Of course. So the podcast that called the Courtside Podcast, created on Spotify. New episodes actually coming out Wednesday. A lot of things with the USA basketball. Anthony Edwards being number 10 for the United States. And a little maybe some I don't know. Been 50 days so far since that whole fiasco with Shams reported.
So. Let's get into our did we do? I think we did. Let's do good this week.
Okay.
What is the best thing from the past week?
I saw Skylar Thompson play football.
It was a good game. I'm not gonna lie. It was a nice crushing Dolphins victory.
It was a good crushing. I mean, again, Tua not best start. Pretty sure we'll talk about it, but definitely seeing Thompson back at it, and he does. I think he has a good fight for the second string job over White, because nothing about White. Broward kid, I think he has a great chance. But Skylar Thompson, I think especially when he's in the playoffs, he's definitely going to be more of an argument. But yeah, seeing the Dolphins win.
I actually think White is in concussion protocol. I saw later on in the afternoon, I saw on Twitter that he is in concussion protocol from a hit that he took in that preseason game against the Texans. So I don't know what's up with those Dolphins quarterbacks. They seem to be falling into the concussion protocol as of recent. But we hope he gets better from that. For me, man, I just got so many things, to be honest with you, that I can talk to you about. But for me, it would have to be, we're going to get into it. It's our second topic of the night. I was so happy. Woke up at 5:50 a.m. on Sunday. Spain, Women's World Cup. Again, you guys don't know, I got Spain in my family, Spaniards in my family. And I play soccer as well, so big Real Madrid fan, diehard Real Madrid fan, and of course, aside from the United States, I root for the Spanish national team, both men's and women. They were able to defeat England in the World Cup, and I had the jersey on, I had the shorts on. It was great, man. I was so happy for them because we'll get into it, but there's a long story behind that national team. But yeah, that was the best thing, to be honest with you. Worst thing. What was the worst thing?
So first day here in Grainsville, again, you from getting accustomed to everything. The AC at night, like 50-something degrees. it's like an iceberg in here every single night. I kid you not, I'm wearing socks right now. I gotta wear like a long sleeve, sweatpants, just so you can survive on the bed. You know what I mean? With a blanket. So the worst thing is being, only getting 2 hours of sleep the first time I was here, and still dealing with like this cold day. Like I hop out the shower and an ice cube. You know what I mean? Like I go into my room.
That's the worst feeling.
I'm an idiot.
Hey, but you know what? I rather have it that way than no AC and just sweating bullets at night.
I don't know, man. Like as someone from South Florida, 1 or 2 fans. That'll do the job. That'll do well.
If it's a nice, by our standards, winter Florida night, you open the windows. Yeah. So, but hey, I don't have a problem. If it's cold, like sometimes I'll complain, but I'd rather have that than heat. So I feel you with the socks. I totally undernd that.
It's just weird to wear socks while you sleep. I mean,
it is.
Yeah. Not gonna lie though, I think I'm accustomed to it because it has gotten a little cozy now. I'm not gonna lie, I might be one of those weird people that wear socks 26 now. So kind of being weird on the other side of that bridge.
And you kind of like rub your feet together when you want to get some warmth. I'd say there's people that do it. For me, the worst thing would have to be actually on Saturday night. Cowboys linebacker. Again, you guys didn't know I'm a Cowboys fan. DeMarvion Overshown tore his ACL, and he was one of our most promising rookies. This just goes back to the whole topic about preseason games. It's funny. I watch them. If I have free time, I'll sit down and watch it. And especially, I saw the Dolphins game. I won't make my time to watch the Dolphins game in preseason, should I say. But for Cowboys preseason, I'll watch. I want to see, who's good and who's coming up and stuff like that. But it's not my favorite thing. The vibe is just different. Like, it's the regular season when it's the regular season. And, everyone's playing. Like, not a fan of preseason, man. Like, let them just go through training camp, do joint practices and scrimmages, and let's just get to the season. Let's just, why have these games and then you have these injuries. So, yeah. By the way, Jaka complained, who's not on the show tonight, but he complained. I told him that you have a pretty solid fantasy team.
Oh, me?
Yes.
I do have a pretty good fantasy team. I'm not going to lie to you. I did a lot of flag things here and there. Because for those who do not know, we did a NFL league, full fantasy league. I was the last pick of the first round, which means I'm the first pick of the second round. So I had to go lucky. Patrick Mahomes first round. Derrick Henry right after. So it's been like it was like that the entire way. So my team's pretty strong.
Bring up your team. Tell them what you got. I'll tell them what I got after. Tell them what you got.
No problem. Let me see what's up real quick.
Yeah, you got a pretty solid team, man. John didn't think so.
I was because this is actually for those who are going to be really into fantasy football this year and was looking for a sleeper quarterback. I was really into Daniel Jones. I was really looking to keep him away, but I was really surprised that Patrick Mahomes was last in the storm. So yeah, Mahomes and I also got Patterson and Mostert, the running back Patterson from Atlanta, and of course Mostert from the Miami Dolphins, Michael Thomas, Vontae Smith, and wide receivers, called Deebo Samuel, which is always going to have a spot in my lineup. The way that Tony Romo is for me, he gets points on the board. And speaking of getting on the board, Jason Sanders as well as the Dolphins defense, solid. And Everett from the Chargers. Because
this is sometimes some guys you just got to pick, man.
Yeah. But the bench is really insane, though, as well. I mean, I mentioned for Derrick Henry on the bench right now. Gabe Davis from the Bills. Zerline on the Jets. I mean, I'm kind of a Hard Knocks fan right now, so I have at least one Jet on there. Steelers defense, Goddard from Philadelphia, and the one and only Jimmy Garoppolo.
I'm gonna grade your team as a B. I'll give your team a B. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah, but if it was like a San Francisco to go with Jimmy G, then it'll be like an A-.
Yeah, I agree with that. Now let me tell you what I got here, and I want you to give me a grade.
Okay.
So I got Aaron Rodgers. I got Dalvin Cook. I got Isaiah Pacheco from the Kansas City Chiefs. I got Tyreek Hill. I got CeeDee Lamb. I got I don't know this guy, I'll be honest with you, but Dulcich, tight end from Denver.
Fan.
I got Ezekiel Elliott. I got Eddie Pinheiro, the kicker from Carolina. I got, now mind you, this is on my starting lineup right now. I'm not saying it's going to be my starters full time. I'm just kind of naming the people I got. I got the New York Giants defense. I got Lamar Jackson. I got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I got Treylon Burks, wide receiver, Tennessee Titans. I got Dalton Schultz, tight end, Houston Texans. I got Daniel Carlson as a backup kicker, Las Vegas Raiders. And I have the San Francisco 49ers defense.
Just from the position we have. And again, I know he's naming names. We got to see what Dalvin does.
Yeah.
We got to see what Lamb does. We got to see what Elliott does. We're going to see exactly how Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers want to make that switch.
Yeah.
This is a borderline like winning the league team or bottom of the league team.
It is. I took the risk. I knew I was taking a gamble, but I was like, it's worth the gamble.
You know what I would say? I would say C plus A minus. B minus. Around that range.
Okay.
You're basically at that 81 to 79%.
I respect that. I do get what you're saying. I knew it. When I was drafting, I was like, some years you take the risk and it pays off. Other years you bite the bullet and you do bad. But you know what? That's what fantasy is all about. So I took the risk.
Yeah, that's good, man. Trust me. I remember that 1 year I took Andrew Luck first round. Man retired sooner than I thought. So
that's very unfortunate. I'm sorry that happened to you. You ran literally out of luck.
Yeah, it happens.
So first topic of the night, we need to talk about this game, man. This game was absolutely incredible. Guys, if you didn't catch it, we're talking about the Leagues Cup final, Inter Miami CF against Nashville SC. Now, what was very interesting about this match is that both of these teams entered as expansion teams in 2020 into MLS. If we're talking historically, Nashville's been the better side. But of course, if you guys didn't know, a guy by the name of Lionel Messi has joined Inter Miami, has literally turned things all around for Inter Miami. This game, I think at the beginning of the match, and there's an article you guys can read on our website, PlugTalkSports. This game, the beginning, I think they were kind of feeling each other out, trying to grow into the match. They had the nerves. It wasn't until the 53rd minute. You cannot give this man any space at all. You can't. I will say that Nashville did a great job of that back line, did not allow anything through at all. They played very well. I think this is the best test that Inter Miami has had, the toughest team that they have played against. It was just that moment of Messi getting the ball, gets through one, which was Walker Zimmerman, and then he's got three players in the front of him and fires off the shot. The shot gets off, and it's in the upper 90. There's nothing you can do about it. Really, nothing you can do about it.
World.
Yeah.
You know the crazy thing about it? Because I forgot who said it. There was a report that there was somebody from Nashville's side, and Nashville was part of that manager for Nashville. Talking about when he's not in the play, not in the play at all. He looks, unaware of anything that's going on. But then when the ball's in his foot, it's over. It's like over. Automatically, he's in the offense. He's in the offense immediately. And that was exactly what we saw. Messi ends up taking Messi with it. It was honestly. And again, I think a lot about Patrick. But this might have been one of the better top three Miami performances. Seeing a goal on TV. That was probably one of the best goals in Miami history.
Yeah, and so they go up 1-0. Again, Nashville their defense, that back line did a great job, and I think throughout the first half, I think the entire game, they did a great job of not letting Messi or Joseph Martinez have lots of time on the ball. They did a great job of that. Of course, they have the league MVP, Hani Mukhtar, who's a fantastic player. They go into halftime 1-0. You would think, and Taylor Twellman was saying this on the broadcast, you can't, now that you're down 1-0, you can't let that defeat your confidence. You have to continue in this game. You're only down 1. You can't let Inter Miami run away with it like they had with other teams who just gave up. Geodis Park was a fortress. Nashville fans really showed out. Coming out of halftime, then Nashville really turned up the pressure.
Yeah.
Fafa Picot got the goal. It was a header, and I believe it goes off Benjamin Kremashki, who tried to clear it, and then unfortunately Drake Callender's knee bumped it into the goal, and that equalized the game. And yeah, it wasn't a pretty goal, but I think with the way Nashville was playing, like you could tell, like the goal was coming. And they kept up that pressure. That was full regulation. I will say, before I say my next thought, Leonardo Campana had an opportunity to end this match, to win League's Cup in the very last minute of the game, one-on-one with the keeper, Panico, chips him, but when he chips him, he chips it way too far, runs across goal, realizes the ball's heading out of bounds, so he's going to slide to shoot this. And when he slides to shoot it, he hits the post, end of the game, end of regulation. We're going to penalties. And I couldn't believe it, but I will say throughout the regulation 90 minutes, I did think Nashville was the better side.
No, yeah. I mean, they were more aggressive. But also going back to the Campana, let me tell you, I'm a huge advocate for Campana over Martinez. I was going to fight anybody who does about that.
I agree with you.
That was like, dude, you're trying to make Ecuadorian national. You're trying to make a name for yourself. You can't be doing that in the League's Cup. I don't even know, man.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. When I saw it, I could not believe. First of all, I couldn't believe that this was happening in the final minute of the match. I was like, he's going to win it. He's going to win it. And then literally, I was like, I cannot believe he just did that. It was terrible. Yeah. So we got the penalties. And I'm going to be honest with you. I knew from the very beginning that Panico, the goalkeeper for Nashville, was not him. He's not that guy. Not that guy. I knew it. I literally texted Jonka. I'm like, Inter Miami is going to win this penalty shootout. Panico is not the guy. And you can just tell.
He was wearing a helmet. You know what I mean? Like he thinks he's like England right now. So
it like I knew it just by having played the game and being in these situations. Like I knew he just was not the guy. Leao, substitute for Nashville, he misses. Victor Ulloa, which I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as I saw Ulloa stepping up, I told my dad, I'm like, he's going to miss. He's going to miss. Misses. So now we're even now between Nashville and Miami. This penalty shootout goes to the 11th round. And if it would have gone past the final round, what would have happened was they would have started pulling players off of the bench one by one, which at that point, someone's bound to miss. So it was goalie versus goalie, final round. Drake Callender came up big. Drills his penalty. And then it's Panico's turn to go against Callender. And Callender saves his penalty. Game over. Inter Miami wins League's Cup. And they reel in their first title ever in club history.
Yeah. And also, because I know we talked about it a little bit before even getting on today. Callender, of course, the best goalkeeper Inter Miami has ever seen in the franchise.
Yep.
But for him to come up like that, not only scoring that goal, but also saving that goal. right after.
It's big.
It's something of story. I mean, again, the goal was like, what was that? Like the top shelf. I don't think it was a corner like that, but it was a ridiculous shot. Like if you told me that he could be a striker one day, I believe you at this point. The way that he's hitting penalties. But Calendar deserved it. So Miami deserves it. And in a weird way, because I was thinking about this, because Pelé, he played in the United States. He won some things in the United States. Messi's right now. I mean, again, it's a little controversial because the World Cup title's different, and of course, whatever happens in year and whatnot. But I'm telling you, man, in the sense of the United States, 7 games. It just takes 7 games to put that conversation.
My pushback on now on what you said. If Messi doesn't score for Inter Miami, who will? He is the factor of why this is all turned around. He is that factor. I think their weakness is their back line. I don't think Inter Miami has a very strong defense, which is something they need to work on in the offseason and picking up pieces. If he doesn't score goals, the team is not – I don't see the team progressing forward. I think he needs to score those goals for Miami continue winning games or being in the play, involved in the play of whoever scores the goal. Because that back line, and we saw with the FC Dallas game, FC Dallas is not having a great year. They've been okay, subpar this season, but they exposed that back line and they put, 3-4 goals on Inter Miami? So it's shaky back there. And if Messi doesn't score, then they're in trouble.
No, yeah. I mean, again, as before, that back line, they're the one regressing as the forwards. The guys the wing. I mean, look at Robert Taylor. He's getting better. Jose Martinez getting more opportunities. You know, those guys don't really worry about it because they're working with Messi. And honestly, I never seen Robert Taylor, for example. I've never seen Robert Taylor play like he has. And it's not even back to Messi. Like, again, this is going to be a player like Messi that's facilitating for others. And really unselfish. I mean, of course, for a lot of people see on social media him sharing with Yedlin, who is the original captain for Messi joined. So, you know, that's the type of thing with forwards and that connection. But defensively, it's always a spinning star, man. Yeah, I can't tell you a defender that's been with Miami for more than like 3 years.
That's true. That is true, and that's an entirely new back line. I mean, we've had several back lines, and just a lot of those players are gone. But yeah, congratulations to Inter Miami. They kind of broke the South Florida curse. I mean, FAU and UM in March Madness, the Heat in the finals. So it's good. Inter Miami brings the city of Miami a championship.
Yeah, if it wasn't going to be them, it would be the Marlins.
Hey, not denying that. Sticking with soccer, World Cup final, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, Spain and England. It was an early one. Unfortunately, all these games where they were playing in Australia and New Zealand. Let me tell you, Spain, first off, I just want to talk about the goal scorer. She plays for the women's Real Madrid team, Olga Carmona. Unfortunately, and it's just the irony of it, she scores the lone goal for Spain. It was a 1-0 win for Spain. When she scores, she lifts up her shirt. She had an undershirt, and it had written someone's name, which she explained was for her best friend's mother, who had passed away. She dedicated the goal to her. After the match, Spain wins the World Cup. They're celebrating. Statements start coming out from Real Madrid, from the Spanish Federation, that Olga herself was told after the match that her father had passed away. Her father passed away before the match, but they were not going to tell her, before the game. So she goes, she wins, she scores the lone goal. And it's an amazing day. And that amazing day turns into just sorrow and grief and mourning with the news of her father. So we just want to, shout her out and it's tough. So I'm praying for her and her family and hope everything is okay. It's probably a weird time, weird emotions for her right now, going through a whole World Cup victory parade and then probably preparing for a funeral at the same time. So It's probably a lot of weird roller coaster emotions for her. But this Spain team, I think I told my dad, drawing my conclusions, Brandon, after seeing this tournament, the U.S. needs to figure it out because the rest of the world, what I saw from this tournament, is getting a lot better. Not just Spain, because they got a lot of young players, and I think they'll be a force to reckon with years to come.
Yeah,
England's great.
But from those young players alone,
a
majority of them are what, Barca?
Like a majority of them are what, Barca?
Like top leagues right now. And we got a majority of the United States teams.
And we got a majority of the United States teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they're stuck here in the States. Not a big league going on. Not a lot of talent going on.
It is. And this is discussion. Europe is putting money into their women's teams. And Real Madrid never had a women's team at all until just almost 2 years ago. They said, we're going to make a women's team because Europe is starting to pour money into these programs and into women's soccer. The Champions League, there's a women's Champions League now. The U.S., again, like Spain, England, Australia, Sweden, Japan. There's a lot of tough competition. Netherlands, should I say. There's a lot of tough competition out there, and I love it because it's competitive. But if you're the U.S., you just got to start getting back on the horse and start forgetting the history and what the program's done in the history, because if you're just going to rely on that, the rest of the world is catching up. They're catching up. And this Spain team, and talking about this final, they only won 1-0. That's what the scoreline says. But they dominated England. Dominated.
Yeah, and you also got on the other side of the thing. You got to feel for the Lions,
the three Lions.
They're right there for winning the World Cup. And again, men's and women's haven't won anything since 1960. So we're talking about a lot of rich culture, let alone from both Spain and England on soccer. And one side is very pretty, right? España, they get themselves. I think it's one of two of countries with a men's and women's winning the World Cup.
Yep. The other is Germany.
On the other side, more sorrow. So right there, with England, they're unable to get it. And for the women's side, I mean, what was the last time they ever been in the final? Never, really.
Yeah.
So, and again, I mean, phenomenal job by them. A lot of great players, of course, from them. A league for women's soccer as well. Of course, in the Premier League, from that would be Chelsea and whatnot. But they got a bright road. United States, you got a lot of young players. They don't know what's going on right now. I mean, that's the only way I can say it. Because after that Vietnam game, and we talked about it on the podcast previously, look around, they get behind the net, move the ball around all they want. But the moment they give up something, it's over. I mean, look at the Sweden group. You couldn't make a single mistake, and then it went to penalties, and all the mistakes went through. So they got to figure it out.
Oh, 100%. I just, I know we're talking about this final, but my conclusion after seeing this entire tournament, I was like, the world is catching up. And they got to do something about it. And Spain was just this entire tournament, aside from a 4-0 loss to Japan, which Japan now must be like, we beat the eventual champions 4-0 and we got eliminated ourselves, but they looked great. The entire tournament. We're talking about Jenny Hermoso, Atiana Bonmatí, Alexia Putellas, who won the women's. This is how crazy it is. She won the women's FIFA Ballon d'Or, and she was coming off the bench. That's how talented this Spain squad was. They had a 19-year-old, Parayuelo, who I can't even describe it. She won, I believe, the U15 World Cup, U18 World Cup, and now she's won the Senior World Cup. That just goes to show you what Spain has coming up in their youth system and in their ranks coming on to the senior team. And, just congratulations to them, because they had never gotten past the round of 16 in their history. And a lot of the times they've been eliminated by the United States, and it has been frustrating and heartbreaking for them, especially for Jenny Hermoso, who is their leading goal scorer of all time. And now they finally conquered it and they captured it. And the way they did it was just amazing. You can pressure them. In the final, England was pressuring them, pressure. And they would get out of it with their passing. They would just get out of the pressure and immediately they're downfield. So congratulations to them. And for England, it's heartbreak. They have a fantastic squad. They won the European Championship and they were looking to win the World Cup. And with their coach, which is another story, Brandon, their coach makes it to the World Cup final with Netherlands, loses to the United States. But before that, she had won the Euros with the Netherlands. She makes the switch to England, wins the Euros with England, and then loses the World Cup final with England. So it's unfortunate for her. It's a curse. It literally is.
Just there for Europe.
But again, congratulations to England for making it all the way. Congratulations on Spain on your first ever World Cup title for the Women's Federation. Now, this is something that I want to get your opinion on first because I want to hear this. And if you guys don't know, it's the whole situation on James Harden and Daryl Morey. Please inform us, Brandon. You're the basketball guy. Talk to us about what the heck is going on here.
Yeah. So and also this new chair I have, they gave me furniture like these chairs like back and forth in my back like crazy. So let me just get into position here. But yeah, so Daryl Morey, for those who do not know, he was having the same GM presidential position with the Houston Rockets. Basically run that organization, do his best with the roster, James Harden there. I would consider it prime years.
Yeah.
And out of nowhere, everything comes out of Philadelphia. Daryl Morey is like, hey, let's get this guy out of Brooklyn. They bring him in. Harden's like, oh, I feel like win with the lead. Everything's changed now. Harden wanted to go get himself traded away, or he promised according to some reports, he do it quickly. Now, quickly does not mean 3 months throughout summer. So throughout the entire summer, nothing happens. We don't see what's going on with Harden, except for maybe he's not loud, promoting burgers or something like that, getting extra track himself. And a promotional deal with China comes up. And the promotion, he calls him a liar.
Yeah.
He says he'll never play for that organization ever again. And he does it in a very vocal manner that honestly I've never seen myself personally watching the NBA. It was like watching Eli Manning, denying to get drafted by the Chargers. It was that type of level of I'm not going to play for this team, even though they have me easily on a contract. So I'm telling you right now, the whole situation, James Harden will not be playing for Philadelphia. He has no intent to play for Philadelphia. And reality is, he's looking just like the Clippers. It was something that's been reported since he requested for that trade. He wants to go play with Kawhi, he wants to play with Paul George. But for Morey's sake, at least when we heard reports, the trade working out, it's not what they want. Let alone, I don't even look to trade him. I mean, you got an ass like hard. Use him, even if it's for a year. Now, I understand how frustrating it is because neither Harden or his agent for content about contract negotiations, additional year extension. So they're really looking to go, if not for everything next year. Because if Harden is unable to get the job done next year, who knows? Then B might be out.
I literally think that, which it doesn't make sense to me. I posted a TikTok about this. If you're Daryl Morey, which it sounds like he promised him a bunch of stuff, probably the bigger thing is money, and that didn't happen, and he gave him a bunch of empty promises. And he's like, I'm still going to bring you back. And this guy literally says, I will sit out the entire year and will not play for your team. What makes you just think and sit there and be like, oh, I'm still going to bring him back? Like, trade him. He doesn't want to be there. He's not going to show up.
Yeah, but it's harder than it looks, man. I'm telling you right now.
No, of course. I know
the
that.
The weird thing is, especially in today's NBA, like we already seen with Ben Simmons saga. We've seen with Kawhi Leonard trying to leave the Spurs. We're in a day of age where players will want to leave after 2 or 1 year for a franchise, after a blockbuster deal that will whittle that franchise for life. I'm telling you right now, even though, yes, Joel Embiid, MVP player, one of the best centers, if not the best center right now in the NBA, Harden leaves, it's over. The process is done. You can wrap that thing up. What are you trying to tell me? Tobias Harris, salvage maybe another all-star? You're going to get yourself a bench with a Harden deal? Like, I'm sorry. If you're not even happy with your finding players, like, for example, 5 first-round picks, if you're not even happy with 5 first-round picks, maybe some other role players are, like there's not going to be a deal out there. I mean, Damian Lillard right now is getting to Miami situations where his price tag is too high. James Harden's price tag is ridiculous. No matter how he looks like 7 and 6 rounds, no matter how he looks like physically, James Harden is still the offensive weapon. He can be 40 at night if you're going to Miami. This guy is dangerous. And his deal works. So Morrissey, he's in a situation with GM. Hey, I can't move you, but you don't want to beat. I don't want to give an extension, but you don't want to be here. And it's fine. You're under contract. And unfortunately, James Harden, like any other NBA players right now, and for good reason, of course, they have the freedom to do so. But they're looking to move on because they're not in the situation.
I said it too, that Joel Embiid is probably sitting back watching this whole drama and fiasco, because that's what it is. It's a drama, TV drama series of what we're seeing play out right now. And he's probably saying to himself 2 things. Well, like you said, if Harden leaves, then I don't want to be here. And 2, if I ever want out of Philadelphia, I hope they don't handle my situation this way. And for James Harden himself, like, I feel like that's something that you should keep private. I don't think you should just it's not a good look to go out and start trashing the organization and start trashing the team and stuff like that. Those are business matters. Keep that stuff, private. And also, where's the NBA in all this? Like, now they've opened an investigation. But didn't they say like a month ago, we don't want people publicly talking about their teams and wanting out and forcing their way out, which they were specifically talking to the Miami Heat. But now James Harden's doing it with Philadelphia, and they're nowhere to be found. Until now, that they're like, okay, we're going to launch an investigation to see what's going on in Philadelphia. But like, come on, don't have a single standard here. Yeah. Please be fair.
You know what happened? I wish it was like the good old days. David Stern, the 9 trades, right? Just Chris Paul can't go to Lakers and Kobe Bryant. So why do you think James Harden wants to go with Embiid? Let alone leave Embiid. Like if it wasn't for Adam Silver being more open to competition, and again, this more bigger picture, right? In season tournament, all that stuff. If Adam Silver was so open about competition, big names, big markets, we wouldn't be here. There would be no KD and Brooklyn. There would be no Harden and Kyrie, Brooklyn. There would be no trade outs to other franchises. I mean, there would be legitimate. This player is going to be here for a long time. You can make money off that. No. We have what 3 James Harden jerseys in the past 4 years, just because of all these crazy deals. And it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. So, and as you actually further, the way that you say it should have been put in private. Morrissey and Harden, their relationship goes way beyond just the Philadelphia 76ers. So it's almost like. I'm not saying they're family. I'm not in the room, right? I don't know them. I'm not their friend, nothing like that. But what I would assume, though, they got each other on home dials. They got each other on voicemails, like first line, ready to text them on messages. There was no phone call. You know? What I'm expecting is Harden did that because he got to a point where Harden couldn't even contact him. And again, this is a guy who's known for half a decade. So that's how sour the situation is in Philadelphia.
And also, you got to think about, too, a lot of times, a good amount of the times, players will do these sort of things to kind of use it as a business tactic and as a leverage to kind of get what they want. I'll give you a perfect example. And it's not NBA related, but it's soccer related. Every summer now for 3 years, Kylian Mbappé says, I want out of Paris. I'm going to Real Madrid. I want out of here. And what ends up happening? He gets more money. He's like, okay, yeah, I'll stay in Paris. It's a tactic.
If he goes a little bit more, it might be $1 billion. So they're paying soccer players right now?
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're at a deadlock. Harden says, I'm not putting on a Sixer uniform ever again. And Morey says, we're bringing you back. So, Brandon, what do you think ultimately will happen in this situation?
If I know, and again, this is coming based off what we've seen already from James Harden, especially the whole thing that happened in Brooklyn, I would not be surprised if both these two guys, who I would have to say in NBA terms, very stubborn guys, Harden will sit out the entire season gladly, and Morey wouldn't care. Morey, again, there's a little bit of, I got to make sure it's competitive, but he wouldn't care. Because if there's not a trade that he's looking for, he's not going to go out of this and be like, oh, Harden wants out. You know what I mean? But the same way that Portland is right now. They're waiting for the right move. That's been the right move for Harden in this situation. And Harden, honestly, he's already getting paid. I don't think he really matters. I don't think it matters to him at that point.
Well,
of course, he's bringing the team up somewhere. The real question is, with the Clippers, out of all the teams, it's very interesting. A team that has yet to really show themselves with Kawhi Leonard to be something of a contender.
Yeah.
And again, what would they have to give up? But they give up Paul George, a couple of first rounders, Reggie Jackson, not Reggie Jackson, but I'm pretty sure they have some other guys that are willing to deal with. But I'm telling you right now, Harden, he can get all he wants to get to Los Angeles.
I mean, sitting out, you're still getting paid. Not a bad life.
It's nothing to complain about.
It's nothing to complain about. I agree with you. Hey, man, if I was getting paid what these guys are getting paid and I get to just sit on the bench, be a bench warmer, and I'm getting that type of money, coach, don't play me all you want. I just happily collect the check and just work out for fun every day.
Yeah, call me Brian Scalabrine at that point. Tell you right now, go to the 24/7 YMCA or something like that. To do a couple of 50 games and on my way to my little padded season ticket seat on courtside.
Not a bad life. College football is here. It's week 0, as they call it. They have released the rankings heading into the season. Not complaining about it, but there is some things that I would change. Let's go over these rankings. At number 1, as expected, Georgia. At number 2, they got Michigan. At number 3, Ohio State, which I know you're not happy about.
Not at all.
At 4, Alabama. At 5, LSU. At 6, USC. At 7, Penn State. At 8, Florida State. At 9, Clemson. At 10, Washington. At 11, Texas. At 12, Tennessee. At 13, Notre Dame. At 14, Utah. At 15, Oregon. At 16, Kansas State. At 17, TCU. At 18, Oregon State. At 19, Wisconsin. At 20, Oklahoma. At 21, North Carolina. At 22, Ole Miss. At 23, Texas A&M. 24, Tulane. And 25, Iowa. The big one that I want to tackle first, Brandon, I know you're going to go into Ohio State, but for me, I would flop 8 and 9. I think Clemson should be ahead of Florida State.
No?
God,
no. Whoever thinks that Clemson is still riding off of some sort of all-pro quarterback, they got to stop.
I know they're definitely not what they used to be.
Not even close. Honestly, I'm thinking, and again, this Clemson team, they're still, a great team. The ACC is something to fret about if you're a team playing against Clemson. But they're regressing. I mean, Dabo hasn't really shown anything to get me excited. This team is going to be not only a top 10 team, but a playoff, right? I mean, that's the expansion when we go over there to Clemson. Florida State, 9 wins last year. All right.
They are on the come up, I will say.
They are very much on the come up. And I hate to say that too, because as a South Floridian, can't stand that at all. just can't stand going to jokes. But let me tell you, Doak is going to be running amok all through the ACC. They might even win the whole conference, to be absolutely honest. But yeah, Florida State, I think they're in a pretty good spot, number 8. They honestly, you can even make the argument. Number 7 over Penn State.
I can agree with that.
And you know, for me personally, I'm not even fan of the Big Ten. You got two teams out there, and what else? You know, Michigan State. I'd rather watch basketball Big Ten. Right? Let's be honest. But yeah, I mean, Florida State, I think they can have a really great chance to the ACC, and let alone who knows how the rest of the schedule looks like. They could potentially be a team. I'm not going to say crazy top 4, but top 6. I mean, it's viable. It really is.
Now, give me your issue with Ohio State at 3.
Yeah, it's stupid. And I understand they have a top 5 recruiting class for 2023, 2024, and everything beyond that. How many times have I seen them in the top 4 just because of the name, and they get themselves moved out every single time? Like, whenever I look at Ohio State, again, I'm looking at the list of this season, I have LSU over Ohio State. Bama, we still have a situation going on right now, and that offense is going to be brand new.
Yep.
But in reality, Ohio State's beating any of those teams one-on-one. Do I truly believe that Ohio State, just based on the recruiting class, is going to be enough? Texas A&M and Jimbo. I mean, Jimbo had an insane class last year. Then beat out Nick Saban in Alabama. Alabama's usually the SEC in overall national recruiting. But what is Texas A&M? A 5-win team.
I was about to tell you, why is a 5-win team ranked?
Why did a 1-win team decide to go out of the Pac-12 and into the Big 12? It's just the name. It's just the name of Texas A&M. And again, Texas A&M, the majority of these polls, especially with 0-1s, they're based on what the recruitment looked like, what their entire summer looked like for this at least class. They had a good class. You know, as they usually do. I mean, Jimbo Fisher knows how to recruit, and for good reason. I mean, he did the exact same thing up there, turn into a national championship. But it's not going to do anything with coach. Now, what I would say from the bottom part of this AP 25, look up for Ole Miss. Look up for the Rebels. I don't know what's going on over there. But you know, just watching the SEC, basically Kiffin's got something good. The offense going to be walking back. They had some great last year. Like one of the guys in Arkansas game. In Arkansas, I mean, they're not going to be good this year. But what's the quarterback? Jeffries, I think. AJ Jeffries. Avery Jeffries going to have a great year. Yes, Jay Daniels, but they're not going to be able to that team up. I think Ole Miss definitely shocks from the SEC in college football. Texas will be back. Don't know if Archie Manning's going to be.
I'm very excited for him.
I am very excited. Again, I don't think he's going to get the starting job week 1 or year 1. But if he ever does see the field, I got to be seeing that game. Hopefully he's like that Oklahoma Red River. If that's going to be in Dallas, got to be at that game.
I think I'm pretty excited for 21 North Carolina. They're always tricky. And I think they got some good talent. You know, they've really obviously have prided themselves in being a basketball school, but I think they've really improved in the football program aspect, and they're always tricky. They're always that one team that you're like, North Carolina, and they give you problems. Now, again, this is based off of recruitment and stuff like that. I think into week 0, with the way Jonka spoke, you would think Miami's ranked, but they're not.
Yeah, that is true. And again, for the Hurricanes, the same position with Texas A&M. Great recruitment, but you're still a 5-win team. You're barely making out your conference.
Yeah.
So from our crystal ball, you know, this will be a defining season for them. This will be, again, year 2. You're not going to win the conference. But at least get yourself a bowl game in there, right? So this will be a big one for Miami. But there was a team I did. I mean, teams actually. Tulane. They deserve to be there. They're definitely a top 25 team. They did against Southern Cal, USC. But what about Utah? At 14, 2-time Pac-12 champs. And again, they're not in the Pac-12 no more, apparently, but they're better than Notre Dame. They're better than
They're better than
Washington.
Washington.
And
And
frankly, hot take, they're better than Tennessee this year.
this year.
I think the Utah Utes
are
are a national threat. They're definitely a sleeper in the playoffs. And again, just making the playoffs is what I mean. Winning it all. They're definitely
agree with that. That's not for me personally, not a hot take. I can agree with that. And again, like you said, Notre Dame, just a name. Just a name. We all know they every year just a name.
Yeah.
Sticking with football, final topic. Who will win the AFC East? Brandon, tell me from first place to fourth how you think the division will finish.
Well, very early. But I didn't like the signs from Tua. So it's a tough one because at the same time, I really do believe the Dolphins defense. I think it's the best secondary right now in the AFC. Also, you look on the other side. Jets, right? Hard knocks. Aaron Rodgers is a real. That guy is a real. Everyone loves him. The reason why they love him is the game. But in a weird way, I don't think it's going to be enough. A lot of issues. I think defensively, there's still having a lot of questions. So the way I'm looking at it, it's going to be Dolphins over the division. And as a surprise, I have Buffalo actually third. I got the Jets going second, Buffalo Bills third, and then of course the Patriots. They're going to slump around that playoff race, but they're not going to get close to that division spot. They'll be floating last.
Jocko will be having an aneurysm right now because he thinks that the Patriots, you guys are sleeping on us. We got threats. I said in our play of the week, I still think the Patriots are the weak link of the AFC East.
Again, that's in a weird way. That's a good thing, though. You know what I mean? This is a really talented.
It is.
I mean, just look at the quarterback. This is a really talented offensive division from Tua, Tyreek, Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, of course, can't forget Diggs, and going down with Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, and man, what's the guy that won Offensive Rookie of the Year? I forgot his name. Wide receiver.
For what team?
Wilson.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I forgot his name. But yeah, definitely when he comes on the field because that's going to be an awesome connection. And then you look at and it's no one. It's no one. In a business so often packed, it's hard for the Patriots now.
I don't know if you agree with me. I think the AFC East will be the hardest division in all of football this upcoming season.
It's a real thing. I mean, again, I think the AFC has such a good division. The AFC North going to be hard.
Yeah.
When you look at the NFC, though, Dallas, Cowboys, Philadelphia, I think the NFC West will be very interesting. Especially what's going to happen.
I think Seattle's a sleeper.
They are a sleeper, man. Again, I'd love to South Florida kid, Geno. I don't think he got it. Really, that was a fluke year. So who knows? Maybe proves me wrong. But the AFC, though, it's going to be a hard division for the AFC.
You're gonna hate me because this is what I think is gonna end up. At first, the New York Jets. I have the Jets winning the division. At 2, gonna hate me, the Buffalo Bills. The reason why I have the Miami Dolphins at 3 is because I still have so many questions on Tua and also injuries to the Dolphins. So that's the reason why they're at 3. And of course, I already told you at 4, the Patriots. They're the weak link of this division. So, and a lot of questions like, I got Zeke on my fantasy because he was available and it was late in the draft. I was like, still available, might as well pick him up. But I don't know how he's going to fit into that New England offense. I think he might even have to change his style to fit into that New England offense. But yeah, sorry, Jonka, but I don't see them being a team that's like, we're going to win the division.
I mean, again, he might be just a blocker at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, again, who knows? Maybe he's at that point in his career.
It's just the Jets with Aaron Rodgers and Dalvin Cook on the same team. That is a great duo right there. It really is.
It is. You can't deny that. But in the same way for the Dolphins, it's about the O-line, though. How this looks like year one. So I think they're going to just come out of nowhere and win the division year one. I doubt it, man. Like, if you're trying to tell me that Aaron Jones and Rodgers were able to make it out of their own division when he was still with Green Bay against Detroit, against the Vikings, you're really going to tell me he's going to go year one in a heavily competitive division like this one in the NFC East and just be like out?
Yes.
I don't know why.
You know why? I'll tell you why. Aaron Rodgers has haunted my life for years. And things that I thought that he couldn't do, he has done. He has done the impossible. And he's given me some form of PTSD and nightmares in my life. That way, that's why I do not doubt the man anymore. I don't doubt him.
No, you can't.
I just, if he shows up, it's going to be very hard for that division. Very hard.
It will be. Look, I'm not doubting Aaron, right? I'm just saying I would rather have the offense that has more time together. Would rather have the offense that has the seventh best players in the NFL in the sense of Tyreek Hill. And would rather have a team with a better defense. I believe the Dolphins have a better defense. The offensive line, the O-line for honestly, I'm more curious who's going to get hurt first. Aaron Rodgers or Tua. The way the O-line looks for both those teams, terrible, man. Terrible.
And this is why I keep saying, and people think I'm crazy, with the Dolphins O-line against that game in December 24th against my Cowboys, Michael Parsons is going to have a field day.
Yeah. That's the game I have as a fear factor, but you know what I would say about this as well, because for Tua, unfortunately, this is his career known concussions, but he's also saying like hit him a blind and breaking rib.
Well, you saw the roll, right?
Yeah. Exactly that. So he's trying to avoid getting double tackles, and who knows if that affects his game. Has he already changed his mind on the field the way he plays? So again, all the answered. I think week one more than anything else. I think even Tua getting some reps, it wasn't a lot of answers. How's he like offense like. But it'll be interesting though. Be interesting division.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of laughed. Like first play of the game for him. First throw, it's an interception. I did chuckle a little bit. I was like, "Oh, Tua," but he did come back. He did come back, and he did well.
Yeah. You know, I think the Dolphins have a good chance to get point to the field.
They have a good roster. I'll leave it at that. I think they have a very good roster on paper. I just think they need to go out and back it up now. But I'm gonna pick the Jets. I'm going to pick the Jets in first. Buffalo, they didn't make any moves, but it's Buffalo. They still have a good team. Dolphins, already explained why they're in third. New England, why they're in last. So we both have Dolphins and Jets, the two rivals, winning the division. But hey, man, I'd be happy for the Jets. They haven't been anything for a long time. It would be nice for them to have something in their history.
It would be nice, man. I'm just saying. Maybe it's too soon.
They got nice uniforms, too.
They were just looking for sure.
Well, anyways, guys, that will do it for us tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode, the dynamic duo of Daniel Torres and Brandon Hernandez. At it again. We'll be back next Monday for episode 107. We hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Enjoy college football week 0. Happy football is back. And we hope you guys have a